This is me. This is my beloved wife, Sylvia. This is Sylvia's idea of sailing. This is my dream of sailing and my hope of circumnavigating the globe as a retirement project in 2029. This is Sylvia's reaction to that idea.
What? You got a quest?
I am on a 6-year quest to convince Sylvia that a circumnavigation is a wonderful adventure, but the clock is ticking, so join me as I search for the perfect yacht that Sylvia will love, and get all your ladies to subscribe and cheer Sylvia on in the comments. Welcome back to Naval Gazing at Camp David. This week we're heading back to France to have a look at one of the latest new launches of the largest builder in the industry and their beautiful monohull, the Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 60. Today, we are going to 1. Review its specifications, pricing, and layout against 3 similar new vessels. 2. Do a full tour asking, what would Sylvia say? 3. Naval gaze at an innovation and or adjustment that might make life aboard just a little easier. 4. Have a look at the used market for 3 to 5-year-old comparables. And 5. Give it a Dave score and compare the result with all our previously reviewed yachts. All this fun will be sandwiched between a pairing of wine and a work of art from the same region as the guest yacht in an effort to capture the culture and people who gave birth to these wonderful vessels. Waves, wine, art, and ideas. What a civilized way to spend 30 minutes, so let's get going. From high above Vancouver, we head east across the continent and the Atlantic to the west of France in the Lagoon yards, birthplace of last week's yacht, the beautiful Lagoon 55. From here, we head north to the home of Beneteau and this week's guest yacht, the Oceanis Yacht 60. From here, we take a very short hop to this week's wine pairing at the vineyards of Chateau Des Baraillots. Chateau Les Barraillots is the last small wine producer in the village of Margaux. Chateau Les Barraillots is the last small wine producer in the village of Margaux, and one of only a few Crus Artisans in the Margaux appellation. The vineyard was purchased from Palmer and Durfort in 1928 and 1933. It is situated among the highest elevations in the commune, and the soil type is permeable gravel. The modest house and winery are a quarter of a mile away on the outskirts of town. The Martin family used to raise dairy cows there, not only for the income derived from the milk, but also for the manure used in the vineyard. Yannick Martin, who took over from his father in 2014, still uses exclusively cow manure as fertilizer today, though the cattle are gone from the property. The average vine age is 40 years, and the varietal mix is 55% Cabernet Sauvignon, 30% Merlot, and 15% Cabernet Franc Petit Verdot. The planting is very dense, with most sections having 10,000 plants per hectare. No chemicals are used in the vineyard, and the harvesting is done manually. Fermentations are done in the stainless steel, and the wine is aged in barrels 20 to 25% new for 12 months with several rackings. This period of natural clarification is completed with the use of egg whites for fining before bottling in the spring. Chateau Des Baraillots Land de Pommel 2020 is a delicious blend of Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon. It is well balanced and harmonious. This wine has a nose of fresh red fruit with a palate that is supple, with a lingering finish of baking spice and delicious French oak. Wine Enthusiast gives it 92 points. Almost entirely Merlot, this wine has a dark, dense character, bold black fruits, and a complex balance between acidity and structured fruit means that the wine will mature well.
Very nice. Let's go have a look at that yacht. Cheers.
Okay, let's have a look at this vessel. She is handsome, and that new hardtop really does add to the look and the comfort within the cockpit itself. The lines are clean. You've got nice big open deck space there. Again, I love those split tables in the cockpit, giving a clear shot right into the saloon. The look and feel of this is one of a very beamy boat all the way back to the aft, and lots of space in your actual cockpit area. That's the beauty of these modern French designs. Just the complete one-level access up the side decks to the foredeck, massive space in the cockpit. They've taken the helms well aft, and yet in this one, managed to protect them well with that hardtop. And the hardtop doesn't come out as far beam-wise as the soft tops do. So it allows you simply to be at the helm, take a quick lean out, and you can immediately see all of your sails and your trim. The beauty of that easy convertible top is not only sun, but access again to visibility of your sails and trim. So looking at the profiles here, we are comparing the Jeanneau Yacht 65, the Dufour 61, the Jeanneau Yacht 60, the Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 60, and the Hylas 57. The profiles are all beautiful. You've got 3 of these with optional hard tops that really do a nice job. I would say, though, that the Beneteau and the Jeanneau hard tops actually are even a tad better than the Hylas 57. Now, the Hylas 57, you could probably park a tank on top of it. It's significant. And it does have the thickness to allow you to have an integrated electric bimini that slides out the back, as we discussed in one of our navel gazing sessions some time back. But I do like the ease of the convertible tops in between the 2 arms that stretch all the way to the aft that Jeanneau and Beneteau have executed on their yachts. Simply because even in heavy wind, it's going to be secure. I'd worry about having the Hylas bimini deployed in any heavy wind. I think they've done a good job with this convertible top design. You can see that the freeboard on all of these is about the same, and they all cut a very nice line. As far as sail area goes, you've got the Dufour 61 in the lead at 170 square meters of upwind sail area, followed closely by the Jeanneau 65 at 168 square meters. Then you've got the Hylas 57 at 152 square meters, which may give you some indicator of what we'll see in performance on that machine. Then the Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 60 at 139 and the Jeanneau Yacht 60 at 131. Hopping down on deck, obviously the Jeanneau 65 is a little out of place in this mixture. It's massive and intimidating when you get behind that wheel. Looking across, though, you can see the absolute beam on this Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 60. It's massive. It almost gives you the perception that it flares a bit at the aft. But you have huge space on the aft of this Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 60. The Dufour 61 is certainly substantial back there as well. It's just when you're looking down on them here, the Beneteau certainly does stand out. Now the Hylas, given that it is the shortest of the group, certainly does look substantial in the aft area too. And of course, it's a much more traditional oyster-esque cockpit area. As far as the dimensions here, among the 4 that we would compare, the longest is the Dufour 61 at 63 by 18, followed by the Oceanus Yacht 60 at 62 by 17.5, followed by the Jeanneau Yacht 60 at 60 by 17.1, and then the Hylas at 59.5 by 17. Hopping down into the saloon and quarters, this is where, my preference for a more traditional layout is going. I'm not sure exactly why they have to try and reinvent the wheel, especially on this one. So they went with, on the Oceanis Yacht 60, they went with a forward master, and then they spun the bed around. I don't know if this is difference just for difference sake. I don't see really any great advantage to this. Actually, there's a bit of a disadvantage on three-sided access. It didn't give me any better a feeling in the forward area. I'm just not a fan of the forward master and splitting up the aft full beam capability. As you can see, in the aft, you've got the two cabins splitting up that fabulous aft full beam. What a waste in my mind. The rest of it is nicely executed. It's fine. The sense of quality was similar to the Yacht 60, the Jeanneau Yacht 60, although I have to say the feeling within the Jeanneau Yacht 60 was one of just a level or two above the rest, other than the Hylas, on finish quality. As far as overall tonnage, of course, you've got the Jeanneau Yacht 60 at 32 ton. Followed then by the Hylas at 26 ton. And you will see that in the comfort rating. Followed by the Dufour 61 at 24, and then the Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 60 at 21, and finally the Oceanis Yacht 60 at 20.2. Heading on to the numbers, you can see the base prices here. So the Oceanis Yacht 60 is at $914,400 base. The only one a little more economical than that is the Oceanis Yacht 60 at $859,700. So going up from there, we're looking at the Dufour 61, which makes a big leap to 1.3. Then the next up is the Hylas 57, not unexpected, at 1.6. And the Jeanneau Yacht 65 at a very competitive 1.655. As we look at length overall among the four we're comparing, the Dufour is the longest at 63.1. As we already identified, the Beneteau is the next at 62. The beam, again, the Dufour has it at 18, but that Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 60 is at 17.5, and 6 inches isn't much. This thing really feels big at the aft end. Looking down into actual engines, it's the Dufour with 180 horsepower, followed by the Jeanneau Yacht 65 at 175, and then everybody else is at 150. Into some more of the more technical side, the hull material. On this one, it's the Hylas that takes the lead, and it's not unexpected. Vacuum-infused pure vinyl ester, closed-cell foam core, and then, of course, the subtray and bulkheads are glassed into the hull before the yacht leaves the mold. The rest are very, very similar. You've got vacuum-infused monolithic laminate on the Oceanus with Kevlar reinforcements below the waterline, and balsa and polyester fiberglass sandwich above the waterline. Very similar on the Jeanneau Yacht 60. And the Dufour has the polyester resin and fiberglass hull. They do have an integral aluminum grid support in the keel, which boasts a lead ballast. And there has been some discussion about how rigid that makes the 61. So, the Hylas is top of the pile with pure vinyl ester. The Dufour might edge out the other three yachts just a wee bit because of that framework in the hull. Getting into performance indicators here, sail area to displacement, or the indicator of power, the Dufour 61 is in the lead at 20.7. It would be followed by the Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 60 at 18.2, and very, very closely by the Jeanneau Yacht 60 at 18. The Hylas is 17.5, and the Yacht 65 is 17.7. Moving into displacement to hull length or heaviness, the Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 60 takes the lead at 114.9. Again, the next one is going to be the Oceanis Yacht 60 at a 119. Moving into the comfort rating, or the comfort ratio, it's the Hylas at 35.6. The next closest would be the much larger Jeanneau Yacht 65, followed by the Durfort 61, the Beneteau Yacht 60 at 26, very, very closely by the Jeanneau Yacht 60 at 25.8. The capsizing screening formula, the CSF, puts the Hylas in the lead at 1.8. The rest are at 1.9, and the Jeanneau Yacht 65, of course, at 1.7. Hull speed, you've got the Durfort among the four of them that are comparable at 10.2, again, very relative to length. Okay, hopping on board. What would Sylvia say? Well, overall, Sylvia would like this. Other than the heeling, there's everything here for her. She's probably not as picky about that forward berth versus the aft full beam as I am. There's a lot of good things about this boat. Of course, you can see that full beam, beautiful integrated dinghy garage with nice steps that come down. You've also got that parasol, I'm probably mispronouncing that, the gangplank that comes out hydraulically. Good sized winches here, all very convenient to the helm. All your lines run back here. Beautiful line bags back here. Nice helm seats, very comfortable position. Easy access to the side decks. Obviously bow, stern, thruster, all the fancy toys. But, very, very typical Beneteau layout with easy access, split tables. They're on electric lifts, so they drop down into a full sun pad. The big difference is this beautiful convertible hardtop and the beautiful stainless work that holds it up at the aft, which is very convenient to hang on to when you're standing right there at the helm. You find your hand going up there. You can also see the handrails for safety up alongside that hardtop. They look really, really good. Moving forward on the weather decks here, you can see they're good and wide. You've got the safety lines at a decent height. You know my opinion of lines versus solid rails. I'd far rather see it like ML does. You got a nice double spreader rig with in-mast furling. The entire forward area is beautifully laid out, very flat, very usable, nice integrated factory given sun pads with integrated cup holders, all nice flush hatches. Your foresails here, in this one on manual furlers leading back to the electric winches. My personal preference would be a power furler or two power furlers on two head sails permanently in place there with UV shields. Again, nice layout here, beautiful teak decks. You have even more sun space up here just in front of the why do I always miss what that splash hood is called? It'll come to me when I'm off this and just frustrate the liver out of me. Anyways, there's all of your jammers, good-sized winches, all electric winches. And I really do like the way they've controlled the spaghetti with really good-sized line bags or line stowage off of the self-tailing electric winches. This cockpit area is so comfortable. You've got lots of space, and they've even used the area under the spray hood, there's the word, for nice loungers that you could just keep your better half company while they're on watch. Moving into the salon, very nice in that they've moved the galley forward instead of that linear on the starboard side, which I really didn't like in the older boat. It makes this feel much wider. I do like that little built-in coffee table-esque thing here on the starboard side. It breaks up that broad area there a little bit from a safety perspective and a convenience perspective. The day head is very nice. I really like the little touches of the leather hinge covers. There's that nice teak floor area in the shower. It's a small thing, but it adds a level of elegance that just catches your eye as you go through. I wish that they had done a full beam aft berth here or done something like the Jeanneau 60 did, but they didn't. And those aft berths are reasonably nice. I just don't think they're the most effective or dynamic or elegant use of space. But what they have done with these berths is elegant and nice, and you've got lots of ventilation in here, lots of light. It would be a pleasant place to take some time. The other thing is the head here, again, beautifully done, lots of light. You don't feel constricted. I love the leather inlays that they do on their tables. I think they've done a great job. The galley is very convenient and, quite safe given its U shape. It'd be comfortable to work in even on a heel. And lots of places with those fiddles to grab on and hold on to. Massive refrigeration and freezing space. And here we move into the avant-garde forward owner's suite. I mean, everything is executed very nicely with the Alpi wood and the TV there, all of that good stuff. But I just don't quite get why they spun the bed around. Yeah, you get massive storage along the side. I'm sure you could do that with the bed the other way too. They've got great ventilation and light ceiling inside. But they really have sort of cut off the access to one side of a three-sided access bed that you would have if it was spun around the other way. Looking into the head itself, very comfortable, nice embedded lighting. Now, let's do a little navel gazing. I don't get why anybody is trying to reinvent the wheel. There are three layouts for a boat. One is the oyster. Two is the reverse oyster, or what you can do in the Jeanneau Yacht 60. And three is the Moody 64, 66. Four is the Amel. So if we look at the oyster, which is the classic, this is an outstanding, efficient layout for the boat. Look at that full beam aft cabin. You've got a nice little suite in the forepeak there, and a nice bunk area. Looking at the reverse Jeanneau, you've got where you specify two masters and then a bunk area on the starboard side just ahead of the aft master. Great use of space. You really only have two guests at once, and they get a fabulous VIP cabin. The Moody 64/66. Again, fabulous aft suite, nice office on the port side as you head up. The forward suite slightly at an angle, and then you've got your bunk room. Why try to mess with this formula? There is no other way to lay out a monohull between 50 and 70 feet. My other gripe with monohulls is port windows. The sun coming in. Everybody's bitch about a monohull and why they like a power vessel is the light and the sense of connection. Why isn't anybody else just liberating oyster seascape windows? They're fantastic. Or what about Naughty doing the bold thing of going with a big picture window? Even Gunfleet did a great job with even bigger windows. Then, of course, back to oyster. Those forward-facing windows that open up forward-facing to scoop air in on the deck saloon. Why isn't it in every single boat? Okay, we're back on board looking around this. Again, very nice vessel. My friend here from Beneteau, from the Beneteau dealership, is a very tall fellow, so not the greatest model for this. Again, you can see the beautiful handholds along the ceiling, and the leather embedded, it's fantastic. So now let's look at pre-owned comparables. And again, here we do a comparable to for a sail away, because the used yachts are sail away. They've already been outfitted and whatnot. In general, we add 50% to the base price to come up with a sail away price here. And in this case, the sail away value for our Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 60 comes out to about 1.5 million USD. Our first used comparable is a 2017. I'm not even going to try that name. I always screw it up, and I've heard Toby Hodges say it properly, and bless his heart, he can pronounce it. I can't, but you can read it. It's a Pilot Saloon 58. So we're looking at a 4 or 5-year-old boat, 58 feet long. They're asking 717 versus 1.5. This boat is beautifully finished in the interior. It is a higher level of finish than the Beneteau. It also has a beautiful deck saloon. I would probably go with this boat over the new 60. Moving on, then we got the 2019 RSC 1900 63-foot aluminum, beautifully built boat, beautifully finished boat. They're looking for $2 million for a 3-year-old boat versus 1.5. If I had the money. If I had the extra $500,000, yeah, I'd do the RSC. The aluminum hull, that go anywhere capability, and the level of fit and finish is just outstanding. Next up is the 2019 Oyster 625. It is a 62-foot boat, 3 years old. They're looking for 2.7 versus our target here of 1.5. I love the Oyster. I mean, I love the Oyster. If I had the money, yeah, I'd do the Oyster. But if I'm me right now, today, and picking between these, I would have to go with the Beneteau. It's a good boat. It's a good, solid boat. There's nothing wrong with that boat. It's just not quite the Oyster. I'd cry a little bit, but I'd go with the Beneteau. Next up, we got a Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 62, 2021. I generally found this Yacht 62, the previous one, with its hardtop, a little more elegant in its fit and finish. I really didn't like the fore-aft starboard side galley splitting the saloon area, but everything else was beautifully done. They're looking at 1.2 versus 1.5 for the new boat. I'd do the new boat. Looking at a 2018 Beneteau Sense 57, 58-foot boat. She is 4 years old. They're asking $875 versus $1,495. Man, hard top here. Everything's there. It's almost half the price. I'd have to go with the Sense 57. Okay, moving on to monohull Puritan Purgatory. So we are going to look at some comparable catamarans to this, and we look at something that's 20% shorter, just to make an even fight as far as usable area. Our first up is the Lagoon 50. This is a 1-year-old boat. They're asking $1.269 versus $1.495 for the new Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 60. Not even a second thought, it would be the Lagoon. Next up is a 2021 Seacat, 1-year-old, 48-foot, pure epoxy, dagger boards and all. She's a thing of wonder. US 1.1 versus US 1.5, it would be the Seacat. So, clean swipe for the catamarans. Okay, we're time for the Dave score. So, how did she do on the Dave score? Well, not so good. So you can see her down at 71 here. She is just ahead of the Neil 51 and the Windaloo 54. Yeah, it's debatable, but the 54 I was looking at was a hull number 1 or 2, and it just came across way too plasticky for me. That sounds surfacey, but there you go, whatever. The Beneteau Oceanus Yacht 60 coming in at 71 in company with the Seawind 1370, the Bali 5.4, Aventura 37, Katana OC 50, Dufour 48, the FP 47, all in that area, which honestly overall for my application rings about true. Elegance on the interior was an 8, exterior an 8, interior comfort a 7. I just don't like their layout. Exterior an 8, fabulous cockpit, fabulous hardtop, beautiful dinghy garage and swim platform, beach area, fabulous. Quality, I'm going to give it about a 7. Performance, she's monohull, so it's going to be around a 5. Lazy Sailor, 7. Everything came back to the helm very nicely. Condo, 7. I mean, I'd live on it. The Geek score, a 7. And then value for money, I'd say a solid 7. So she ends up at 71 on the Dave score. For our Art of the Region today, we're enjoying a piece called A Laborer at Saloon by Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec in 1882. Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec was a French painter, printmaker, and illustrator known for his extensive works that captured the essence of Parisian nightlife in the late 19th century. Despite being born into an aristocratic family, unlike me, despite being born into an aristocratic family, Toulouse-Lautrec embraced the bohemian lifestyle of Montmartre, where he honored his skills in the art world. His art often portrayed nightclubs, cabarets, and brothels, and his keen eye for detail and bold use of color made him one of the most innovative artists of his time. His career was cut short due to alcoholism and health problems, but his influence on the art world still lingers today. In 1882, Henri created a dramatic portrait of a laborer at the Saloon estate in his iconic style. The painting depicts a sturdy man in working clothes gazing out at the viewer with a look of self-possession and hard-won dignity. His facial features are weathered, and his hands, which are clasped together, show the gritty signs of a manual laborer. The painting is a testament to the artist's appreciation of the working class and his ability to capture the essence of his subjects with a few deft brushstrokes. The painting is imbued with a melancholic poignancy that speaks to the struggles of the working class and their often overlooked contributions to society. I hope you've enjoyed today. We've done waves, wine, art,